It's always a good pleasure. I came to this country when I was 6 years old from Ethiopia. I'm technically what you call ESL, which is English as a second language. I'm also FFL, which is forgot your first language. Fuck my life, right guys? Think there's an abbreviation for something like that? Anybody?
FML.
I can't understand you. It's my second language, dude. Come on. You're not paying attention. Anybody take a creative writing class in high school or college? Alright, you guys are not my crowd tonight, huh? What an unfortunate mistake I did. Alright, you have it. I was in a creative writing class in senior year of high school and I failed it, unfortunately. And it's because of my teacher. She really didn't like me. And for our final project, she gave us an assignment which was to create an alternate narrative history of a famous person, a figure in the world, whether it's alive or dead. And I chose to do my creative writing project on Ronda Rousey, who is a mixed martial artist, female mixed martial artist. And so I created a new narrative for her life. And basically how my new narrative went was, right before Ronda Rousey got on the airplane to go to the 2008 Olympics, where she would win bronze in judo, the first woman to ever do that in America, she is about to get on the plane and she realizes that she'd rather be a housewife. Yeah, that's about as much response I got from my teacher too. She did not fuck with that at all. Failed me immediately. And she actually pulled me aside after class, sat me down. She's like, Foz, this is neither creative or funny. It's just misogynistic. And I took it to heart. I was really offended by it. And now I had a vendetta against this bitch. And what I decided to do is like, I'm going to write out the most scathing insult of this chick who just called me uncreative and misogynistic. And for the next 3 months, I just ruminated over it. I was writing in my notebook like, oh, this is going to tear her apart. And it came to the last day of school, the last class, which was creative writing class, and I was waiting till the bell rang so I could just give her a piece of my mind. And as soon as the bell rang, I just popped out of my seat and I said, no, you're uncreative and you're misogynistic. Yeah, it took me 3 months to think of that, guys, right? It's a little embarrassing if I'm being honest. No, that's a fake story, that ending anyway. I just wrote that right now. And
You're so creative.
Thank you. Appreciate it. I don't have the balls to do something like that. I actually just started crying and begged for a D+, so that's how my life is going, guys. I've noticed I'm a big people watcher. It's something I'll just do to just pass the time whenever I'm in like public spaces. And I love people watching. I think the only time I really dislike people watching is when I make eye contact with another people watcher. And there's always that awkward moment where we're like, alright, there can only be one people watcher here. We're not going to split up the people to watch. I don't know if the math adds up like that. So now we realize that one of us is going to leave and the other's going to be dead. That's how the cult of people watchers work. And now we stop looking at people and we start looking around the room for blunt objects to blunt each other with, you know? It's a horrible cycle. It's a horrible cycle, guys. It's a horrible cycle. How many times am I going to say that, huh? I was at the Walker Art Museum recently, and I try to go there to write sometimes. I imagine it's going to inspire me. It doesn't. The movies are long. And I realized something interesting looking at all the art pieces at the Walker Art Museum, and specifically the paintings. There's not a single painting of a mirror, which is very odd to me. A lot of things have been painted. There's fruits everywhere for some reason. And I think to myself, are these painters so insecure that they're not willing to paint a mirror and then take a hard look at themselves in that painted mirror and wonder why the fuck they're fucking painting? I don't know. It's just a thought I had. Just a thought I had, guys. They say Bill Gates is so rich that if he was to drop a $100 bill it wouldn't be worth his time to stop and turn around and pick it up. And I really relate to Bill Gates in that when I just bought like a big ounce of weed, when I'm like packing a bowl of weed and a little crumb of weed lands on the floor, I'm like, fucking shit, that means nothing. I'll write that off as a business expense, what the hell? Maybe the accountant can help me with that. All these bits don't really have a great punchline yet. I'll figure it out, guys. I always do. I tell myself that. I can't afford vacations, and I'm really jealous of people who can. I watch a lot of people on the internet, my friends, posting pictures of their great vacations. I have to do this weird thing to supplement actual vacations, and what I do is I'll go in the shower with my Bluetooth speakers, and I'll just play the sounds of the Amazon rainforest. Obviously, it's not as glamorous as an actual trip abroad to the Amazon, but it still gets some of the thing right, I imagine. Unfortunately, people don't want to see my photo albums from my vacations in the shower. Everyone's a little grossed out. You try to show people, you're like, oh, in this one, here's the picture, and my dick is right by the loofah.
Oh my God!
Strategically placed to make it look like I'm bigger than the loofah. Which is not true, right, guys? I was adopted from Ethiopia. You don't need to do that. I kid. Anyway, I realized that bit's too long, so I'm not going to do it, Ski, I promise. Alright guys, have a good night. Thank you.